Welcome to Deeper Stories by Thaddeus Thomas. You can find me at thaddeusthomas.substack.com, where you can listen to all the podcasts and read all the articles and everything else we got posted. Read my fiction, see what books I have to offer. I'd love for you to come and visit. Today we start a new section. We're continuing with our trip through Dubliners, James Joyce. But we're adding now Virginia Woolf and her book Monday or Tuesday, published in 1921, starting with her short story, A Haunted House. The story itself for Haunted House is available to read or to listen to on audiobook at the site or on the podcast. Take a look for those. And now we're going to get into the audio analysis of A Haunted House. A number of different approaches present themselves when we analyze a ghost story. Are the ghosts literal or a projection of the mind? If the ghosts are literal, is their meaning literal? This is not the same question, but rather asks if the meaning of the story pertains to persistence of the soul. Either way, the ghost can also have a metaphorical meaning, as is very much the case here. And while most ghost stories focus on negative emotions, loss and longing, hatred and envy, Virginia Woolf's ghost story is all about love. I don't approach my analysis of A Haunted House assuming a literal meaning for the ghosts. It can be and has been done, with arguments made for the eternal love of the ghostly couple over the centuries, but I feel the focus is the living narrator, and the ghosts are a vehicle for her journey. Perhaps similar questions have to be asked of the house in A Haunted House story. Within the context of the story, is the house literally cursed or blessed, as in this case? If so, what does that mean for the house's pulse sounding safe, safe, safe? A compelling argument could be made for the importance of the house, but my analysis will suggest the opposite. A Haunted House is Virginia Woolf's response to Poe's Telltale Heart. That's a grandiose claim that should be stated with far more uncertainty, but that's not how they teach us how to write. I see strong and persistent parallels, and perhaps, we have this as the third in a line of obsessive tales. Out, damn spot, out, I say. 1, 2, why then? 'Tis time to do it. Hell is murky, fie, my lord, fie, a soldier and afeard? What need we fear who knows it, when none can call our power to account? Yet who would have thought the old man to have so much blood in him? Shakespeare, Macbeth. Just as Lady Macbeth reflects on urging her husband to murder while she's unable to cleanse herself of the blood, so Poe's narrator has come to kill an old man. In a moment important to our current analysis, he cracks open his lantern, and the light falls upon the hideous eye. It was open, wide open, and I grew furious as I gazed upon it. I saw it with perfect distinctness, all a dull blue, with a hideous veil over it that chilled the very marrow in my bones. I could see nothing else of the old man's face or person, for I had directed the ray as if by instinct precisely upon that damned spot. Edgar Allan Poe, The Telltale Heart. One damned spot to another. Louder beat the heart of the dead man beneath the floorboards. Much such a sound a watch makes when enveloped in cotton. But our haunted house's heart beats gladly, and speaks not of a buried horror ready to be discovered, but of a treasure ready to be found. Virginia Woolf's narrator is reading a book, while around the house windows open in the wind and curtains move, a ghostly couple in search of buried treasure. She continues reading until she's certain the ghosts must have found their quarry. She rises and looks for herself, but all is as it should be. What did I come in here for? What did I want to find? My hands are empty. Perhaps it's upstairs then. The apples were in the loft. And so down again. The garden still as ever, only the book has slipped into the grass. She believes they're in the drawing room and sees the apple's yellow side as her proof of their passing. She feels they found what they're looking for. Yet the moment after, if the door was opened, spread about the floor, hung upon the walls, pendant from the ceiling, what? My hands were empty. Our narrator feels the presence of the ghostly couple. This buried treasure they pursue, they have found it. It's here, but what is it? She looks from floor to wall to ceiling and finds nothing. Her hands are empty. A wood pigeon sounds, and with it the pulse of the house beats softly. Safe, safe, safe. The light fades from the room, and she supposes they've moved their search to the garden. But the trees spun darkness for a wandering beam of sun. So fine, so rare, coolly sunk beneath the surface, the beam I sought always burned behind the glass. A shadow fell beneath a ray of light, the light she always sought and which burned beyond the glass. Death was the glass, she writes, the separation between light and dark. Death came between her and the ghostly couple, and it divided the couple too, taking the wife first. Hundreds of years ago, leaving the house, sealing all the windows, the rooms were darkened. He left it, left her, went north, went east, saw the stars turned in the southern sky, sought the house, found it dropped beneath the downs. Safe, 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 the pulse of the house beat gladly, the treasure yours. All this insight from the play of shadows upon the glass. Wind and rain comes during the night, windows open, but it's not the wind. Doors shut, lovers whisper through halls, looking. The narrator and her husband sleep as the storm dies down, and the ghost comes spying, like Poe's narrator at the door of the old man's room. The end of Woolf's story echoes both Poe's point before the murder and the confession to the officers. His hands shield the lantern. Look, he breathes, sound asleep, love upon their lips. Stopping, holding their silver lamp above us. Long they look and deeply, long they pause. The wind drives straightly, the flame stoops slightly. Wild beams of moonlight cross both floor and wall, and meeting stain the faces bent. The faces pondering, the faces that search the sleepers and seek their hidden joy. Safe, 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 the heart of the house beats proudly. Long years, he sighs, again you found me. Here, she murmurs, sleeping, in the garden reading, laughing, rolling apples in the loft. Here we left our treasure. Stooping, their lights lift the lids upon my eyes. Safe, safe, safe. The pulse of the house beats wildly. Waking, I cry, oh, is this your buried treasure? The light in the heart. Poe's madness is here transformed to love and joy. Woolf's narrator awakens, having witnessed the ghosts in a dream, perhaps, and she understands the treasure. It was found before by those who loved one another in times past, and it's hers now to hold on to while life lingers. It's not the house. The ghosts have searched the house, and they found it only in these two together. The heart of the house speaks of safety because of the love of those within its walls.